What's up? This is Alex Shu coming at you with another episode. This episode, another MGTOW subject. This subject, I want to tell you why modern men don't really want to get married anymore. They don't even want to date anymore. I think it's because modern women are just too smart. You understand? Modern women are too smart, because of technology, because of internet. Okay. But before I talk about that, I want to tell you my name's Alex Shu. I'm the guy who invented physical mortality rings. These are rings that you put on your small finger, string sleeve. You wear them, you don't age anymore. You become physically immortal. For example, I'm already 53. If you look at that, you don't see any beer belly on me, right? See, no beer belly. I never work out, never go to the gym. If you go to my website, livemuchlonger.com, I have lots of testimonials on my website from Amazon customers. Most of them give me 4-star, 5-star. If you want to look like me when you're 53, livemuchlonger.com, livemuchlonger.com. Link is at the bottom of this video. Yeah, I see a lot of videos, a lot of women, they're broke, they some of them are living in an apartment they can't afford to pay rent, and some of them are living in their car and shit like that. Back in the days, that's unimaginable, especially if back in the days, if you're a beautiful woman, you're a sexy woman, you would never ever run out of men you would never run out of men, This man don't want you no more, that man always will pick you up. But nowadays, you see a lot of these single, beautiful, lonely women, they just can't find a man. It's like no man wants them, and it's just strange. I know back in the days that would be unthinkable. I remember in the 1990s, even in 2000s, you don't see no women homeless people on the street. You don't see female homeless people on the street. You don't, because back in the days, all the homeless people are men. All homeless people are men. If you're a loser, nobody wants you. I mean that's understandable, right? Back in the days, you don't see a female homeless. You just don't see it, okay? Even if you're like 50-year-old, 60-year-old, I guarantee you somebody wants you. I mean, back in the days, if you're homeless, you're like 50-year-old homeless or 60-year-old homeless, I guarantee you still somebody wants you. Some old men, old gentlemen, 75-year-old, would always tuck you in. Or would always come to you and say, hey, I want you. Nobody wants you, I want you. But nowadays, it's totally different, man. Nowadays, you could go on the street. You see a whole bunch of, lots of female homeless people, It's just that, I guess it's nowadays, I think men don't want women no more. They don't want to date anymore. It's because men are just afraid of them now, because women are too smart. They're getting too smart, you understand? It's like, nowadays, if you let a woman in your life, right? You let a woman in your house. I mean, you're risking everything. You're risking your house. You're risking your livelihood. You're risking your happiness, because these women are so smart. They always have, some sort of professional advice on their iPhone, right? On their phone. They could contact a lawyer anytime, or they don't even have to contact a lawyer. They just go to some law firm's website. You understand? They could go to some law firm's website, and these websites, they have lots of, frequently asked questions, right? And they can check up, like, oh, what if I break up with my boyfriend, I mean, what can I do? What can I do to ask him for money? Or how can the law protect me? It's shit like that, Like, every woman has a phone. Every woman has legal advice. And it's just, I don't know. It's just really scary, because I fell for that before. I allowed a woman to come live with me for a while, and we had a little bit of argument. Immediately, she asked me for money, She said, you don't want me to call the cops on you? Then you pay me $5,000 to make me leave your home. At the end, I have to negotiate with him, and I gave her $2,500, and she left. But it costed me money, you understand? And I would never fall for that again, man. That is some serious bullshit, man. That is some serious bullshit. I've been very nice to her, but anyway, it doesn't matter, That issue has been settled. But you could imagine after that horrendous deal, I mean, I would never. I don't want a woman to come live in my house anymore, because they're just too smart. And I think that's also the same reason why a lot of people cannot find apartments nowadays. A lot of apartments are so expensive nowadays. It's because tenants are too smart nowadays. You understand? Not like back in the days. You ever watch Three's Company? Like Mr. Furley or Mr. Roper. Hey, you don't pay me rent by the 5th, you're out. Those days are over, man. See, nowadays, landlord cannot talk like that to tenants, because every tenant is so smart nowadays. Every tenant has access to legal aid, right? You could always go online, look for tenants association or how to fight your landlord, how to protect yourself, your legal rights and shit like that. It's like every tenant nowadays is a genius, Every tenant is a genius. So, you could imagine. I mean, who dares to rent out a room? Nobody. I remember like a few years ago, there's this guy, their next door neighbor has a friend, right? And that friend, he's getting evicted by another landlord. And then he saw me. He thinks I'm such a nice guy. He knocked on my door and say, hey, you know what? I'm next door neighbor's, your next door neighbor's friend. Hey, can I live in your house? He came in and he said, oh, I love this room in this private bathroom. Oh, I want this room in the bathroom for $800 some. Man, I didn't even agree yet. I'm like, no, and then I said, how come you have to leave your current place? How come you're getting evicted from your current place? And then he said, oh, that landlord pay us money to buy us out, so I receive a lot of money from that landlord, so I'm moving out. And when I heard that, I'm like, fuck this, man. I said, forget it. And he's only paying $800. He got a room and a private bathroom. I'm not interested, It's not worth the trouble because nowadays these tenants are so smart, right? Every tenant is a fucking Einstein, okay? Every tenant is a fucking genius, and. So who I don't dare to charge him a few $100s for a room. You understand? I mean, if I want to rent to a genius, I want to charge him at least $1,500 for that single room, right? Because I have to think about my future, right? Like one day, if I want to kick you out, like if I want you to leave my home, right? For some reason, it's like I don't want this tenant anymore. I want this guy to leave my home. I can't because I'm stuck, right? This guy's a genius. He has all sorts of access to. He has legal access right on his fingertip, right? And in order to buy this guy out, in order to make him leave, I have to pay them probably like $10,000 or $20,000 just to buy him out. And that's the reason why nowadays the landlords, they charge you a lot of money. If you want to rent an apartment, you have to pay like 2 or 3 times what they used to charge. So right now in San Francisco, you want to rent an apartment. You know what? You cannot afford it, okay? Because it's like the prices would be like $3,000 for a single studio, shit like that. It's crazy. You simply can't afford it. You got priced out, I remember back in the days, back in the days when I was younger, in the 1990s, I was only like 21 or 22 year old. Back in the days, it's so easy to rent an apartment, It's cheap and it's easy. Because back in the days, we don't have computer access. We don't have like, we didn't have the internet back in the days, right? So if the landlord doesn't like you, you know what he does? See, I got kicked out of my apartment for because I don't know. Actually, the landlord didn't give us any reason. Maybe it's because me and my 2 other friends were 3 guys, right? We're too dirty. You know how guys are, right? We're 20-some-year-old guy. We're dirty, right? So the landlord, the women said, I want you guys to leave, okay? I want you guys to leave next month. But from now on until next month, I'll give you one month's free rent, okay? From now on until next month, you guys don't have to pay rent anymore. But I want you guys to leave by the end of next month. And we left. See, back in the days, it was that easy. Landlord doesn't like you anymore, tell you to leave. She didn't even give me a notice, like in writing, nothing. She just told my friend, hey, I don't like you guys anymore, leave. And we left. Back in the days, it was like that, Like, you want someone to leave, you just tell them to leave, and they'll leave, Because back in the days, there's no internet, right? You could imagine if there's no internet, then how am I supposed to contact a lawyer? How am I supposed to get legal help, right? Or legal advice, right? I cannot, like, my landlord wants me to leave. I cannot just pick up a telephone and start and speak to a lawyer, right? Of course not. I mean, lawyers, they don't have time. They don't have time to, pick up phone calls from everybody, right? So back in the days, it's like, it's easy to make somebody leave if you don't like someone, right? You just tell them to leave. I'll give you 1 month for free, leave. And then we'll leave, that. But nowadays it's not like that. Every tenant is a genius. Every fucking tenant is a fucking genius, man. You can't just tell someone to leave like that. No, they go online. They're going to look for all the legal advice, legal help. My rights. What's my rights, And women, same thing. Dating is the same thing. Nowadays, these women, they're geniuses, man. These women, they're so smart, I don't know. It's just really, really risky, for you to go out there and date somebody. It just... it's risky for a man to enter the gym, okay? Because, when you enter a gym and there's always some woman, she's filming herself and she's gonna put her video on TikTok, right? And if you got in her way, she's gonna characterize you as a creep. Somehow she's in her video, you're gonna appear as a creep, She'll look at you like you're a creep, and it's like so a lot of men, they don't even want to go to gym anymore, because you're gonna, you fear that some woman is taking making her own videos for TikTok, right? You don't want to be on her video, It's just, and I don't know. Can you imagine taking a girl into your house? Especially if the house is yours, because you don't know what's in her mind, once she enters your house, right? You don't know what's in her mind, you don't know what she's thinking. You don't want to go through the trouble I went through, right? I mean, I took a girl in, and then we had a disagreement. Like within a week, we had a disagreement, and then she said, "I'll leave if you pay me $5,000." Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Yeah, stuff like that would happen, So, I think women are just getting way too smart, and a lot of men, they don't want to date, they don't want to get married, They don't even want to say hello. It's so crazy nowadays. And all these years, I think these women are getting so smart. They're on the internet, constantly on the internet looking for chats and Tyrones, They're constantly in the move. They're constantly in the move, looking for the next best thing, right? And a lot of men like me, I just do everything by myself. All these years, I learned how to cook. I learned how to cook. I fix my own car. I take care of my own shit. There's a leakage in the roof, right? If there's a leak in the roof, my aunt called me and say, hey, the upstairs apartment, they reported a leak. I go upstairs, I patch it up myself and shit. So I guess all these years, men, especially MGTOW men, they got used to it, and they start they take care of everything themselves. Like I make everything, from pizza to fucking, I make my own pizza. I make Chinese food, Italian food, whatever. I make all sorts of food, I don't care anymore. I remember back in the days when I was in high school. Yeah, I had a girlfriend, right? And I didn't know how to cook back in the days. I didn't even know how to make a sandwich. I mean, I was so stupid, I was only like 17 years old. I didn't even know how to make a sandwich. And, I asked my girlfriend to, hey, make me a sandwich. It always cheers me up when she makes me a sandwich, It always cheers me up. Like, I'm thinking, oh, what am I supposed to do without her? If I don't have this girlfriend, I cannot eat her sandwich. What am I supposed to do? Now, come to think of it, that is so stupid. Sandwich? What the fuck? I can make my own lasagna. Sandwich? Who wants to eat a sandwich, man? You ought to try my own lasagna. What the hell, man? Sandwich? No. See, women are getting too smart, right? So MGTOW, a lot of MGTOW, they're just like me. They started cooking. they started doing chores. They started cleaning, cooking, and and gradually they just don't need women anymore. And I don't feel lonely at all. I'm living in my own house. I'm doing my own shit. I'm still selling my rings. I don't feel lonely at all. So it's like, but I couldn't say the same about women. I'm not sure. Hopefully, women they get used to it. I don't know. Hopefully, some women would get used to it. But I think I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But it seems to me that women are a lot more emotional. Like when they get lonely, they cannot control themselves. They have to cry. So there are a lot of times women to me it's almost like a baby. It's almost like a baby, like extremely sensitive, extremely emotional. But men, we're not like that at all. Especially like me. If I learn how to do my own shit, I clean, I cook. I really don't need a woman anymore, and I'm happy with it. But anyway, hey, that's what I want to say for this episode. Hope you guys like my channel.